Assalamualaikum and hello YouTube. My name is Nur Muhammad from NWatch and we are back with another comparison video. So in the blue corner we've got ourselves the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue, right? So this is the 3,500 US dollars worth of watch. But on the red corner we have the Saint Martin SN008-G, the Pretender, right? So yeah, some might say it is a Pretender, but you know what? I don't think so, and oops. But in a way, I think that this is worth it. But you know what? Let's just find out. Okay guys, so we are back with the comparison video between my SN008-G, the Black Bay homage, and the real thing, right? So the real McCoy, the real, you know what, the watch that has been hyped all along in 2020 since it released, and even now this is a very difficult thing to get, right? So I'm lucky enough to have a buddy or friend who owns one of these, and thank you very much, WK from chrono.path on Instagram, and let's crack on, right? So first up is the case size. So these the dimensions, right? So the Tudor Black Bay 58 featuring a 39 millimeters diameter from here to here, and a 47.8 in lug to lug, and a thickness of 12 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters. And we have a crown size of 6.8 millimeters, and size for my wrist, which is 6.75 inch wrist. It weighs about 133.4, right? So on the red corner, we have the Saint Martin SN008-G. So the dimensions is 40 points. Sorry, the case diameter is 40 millimeters, but when you include the bezel, it will be 40.5, and a lug to lug of similarly 48.0 millimeters, and a thickness of again 12 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters, and it has a bigger crown at 7 millimeters, and the weight on this particular bracelet is 138.9, right? So yeah, similarly they are similarly spec'd up, right? So apart from the huge price difference, this is 3,500, or maybe you can get it for less. I don't know, because I didn't just bought myself one. This one you can get for about 330 US dollars. But of course, during the upcoming AliExpress 11/11 sales, you can definitely get this one under $300, right? So is it worth the money? You know what, technically yes. I just really love this thing, but is the Tudor, the next question is the Tudor 10 times more worth the money? No, but still, if I have the money, I would definitely get one of these, right? So anyway, let's get to the case shape. So case design, it features this brush top and a polish side profile here. This one, how to say, solve the problem also of a bit too thick, that this model came after the model, the 41 millimeters Black Bay. That one was a huge watch. It weighs about, doesn't weight, it has a thickness of about 15 millimeters. So this one at 12 millimeters just managed to reduce quite a lot of weight, and the huge presence of the Black Bay 51. I just love this slab-sided, but we have quite a curve here, right? So I will show you later on how it sits flat, how it sits on my wrist, and of course brush polish, and we have a unique beveling here on the side of the case, right? So of course, on the Saint Martin, we have the brush finishing on the top of the lug, but a brush finishing on the side of the lug, and we have that little bit of polish finishing on this chamfering here on the lugs here, but you can see that the case size is a bit flat, so it doesn't really curve that much as the Tudor. So this one doesn't really sit that well, but because of the thickness of just 12 millimeters, it sits rather okay, not that bad, but this one sits perfectly on my wrist. So you know what, let's just see how it looks on my wrist. And today we quick wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my SN004-G, a vintage diver in this and this is what they call this leather dial, right? So you know what, let's just see the Saint Martin first, how it sits on my wrist. So of course I will list down, I will put a card of when I will leave a card top up here on my full review for both of these watches. So you can see that it sits, there is a bit of gap here because the case doesn't really curve that much. And you know what, let's just do a quick wrist roll to show you how it looks, right? So this is on my 6.75 inch wrist. It doesn't really sit that flat, but it doesn't really wobble around. So let's just do a quick wrist roll. The clasp is here, right? So let's just check out how the Tudor Black Bay sits on my wrist, and let's put it on. Boom, boom. Yep, you can see that it hugs my wrist way much better than the Saint Martin does. So that is 1 point for Tudor, right? Of course, it costs 10 times much more compared to the Saint Martin, right? So the dial, right? So the dial featuring this matte, I think there is no sunburst whatsoever. This one is a matte black dial. Even the black model also comes in a matte black dial as well, and it has those applied indices in a white colored lume, right? So although all the minute tracks is printed in white, and all the printings Tudor Genève 200 meters 660 feet chronometer already officially certified is all printed in white, and we have that iconic Tudor snowflakes second hands, and also the snowflake hour hands, right? So sorry about that, guys, something wrong about lighting tonight. And we have that bezel with a lume peep up top, and the bezel is in stainless steel, right? So not that big of an issue for me, but still, if I am wearing this a day in day out, I might going to scratch that bezel, right? So on the contrary, so the Saint Martin, it featuring again similar matte black dial here, and we have those applied indices, and it is printed in this, how to say, vintage lume colorway, and that beautiful Saint Martin logo in hexagon. It really, for me, it really matches the iconic snowflake second hand, and also the hour hands, right? So of course the minute markers are also printed in gold colorway or gilt colorway, and the bezel, right? So this time around they are using this ceramic bezel insert, which for me is essential to a Saint Martin, because they are, you know what, they are in that particular market where more spec is better, right? So more spec is better because they don't have the heritage to sell to their customers, right? So yeah, you know what, let's let's just check out the bezel while we are here. So the bezel featuring a coin edge bezel on the side, and we have a ceramic bezel insert here with that vintage yellow plus brown, and the grip, right? So the grip on this particular bezel is quite good, right? So let's just turn this bezel, right? So of course we have a lume peep up there on the 12 o'clock, and we have that red, okay, sorry I should line up that very nice, and boom, yeah, we have that red triangle up top with the lume peep inside of the bezel insert, which is similar if I could get my hands on the black version of the Tudor Black Bay. But the surprise here is the Tudor bezel. Although this one features a 60 click bezel, that one is 120 bezel, 120 click, but this 60 click bezel is the best. I repeat, the best 60 clicks bezel that I've ever found on any watch, right? So are you guys ready? "60 clicks bezel, no backplay. It sits firmly on the case." I have no idea how Tudor does that. I haven't read that much into what Tudor used to do that, but still, this is one of the best bezel action that I've ever felt in my life, right? So, and we have that lume peep sits in and maybe an aluminum frame, so protecting the lume peep, because this one protrudes quite tall if it doesn't have that, it will definitely, if you bang this into something, it will fall off. But this is how Tudor protects it, protect the loom pip there. But still, the only complaint that I have on this Tudor Black Bay is that the bezel is very thin. You barely have any grip on when you're using it, so that is one caution point if you guys like to turn the bezel like I do, right? So let's check out the crown. So the Tudor's crown featuring this Tudor rose, which for me is an iconic thing, right? So you guys know Tudor's history better than me, so I don't really want to delve to go into that much. But still, the bezel, sorry, the crown, right? This is one of the best crown that I have ever felt in my life. So turning the crown is very easy, screwing in, screwing out. So of course this one is using a Tudor in-house movement, the MT, I can't remember, of course I will put it up here, MT, maybe MT 5246, I can't remember, but it features a 70 hours power reserve, 28,800 beats per hour, and it features a hacking second, right? Boom, yep, you've got a hacking second here, right? So, and when you screw it back in, or when you want to wind the movement, it feels super duper soft, buttery smooth. I can't tell you how much I love this particular crown. And when I want to screw it back in, it is flawless. The operation is seamless, and it sits just nice in, right? So that's the crown on the Tudor. Right, so but on the Saint Martin, although the crown is bigger, 7mm, but because you don't really have that much of the crown is not that tall, right? So you can see there the Tudor's crown is a bit, maybe just a bit 0.5mm taller, but it does really helps in when you want to use the crown. So screwing it out is okay, not an issue. And winding the movement, which is using the PT 5000 movement, again 28,800 beats per hour with a 40 hours of power reserve, is okay, not that bad, but it doesn't really feel that smooth and buttery smooth such as the Tudor in-house movement. But when you want to screw it back in, it's really, it grips, right? It grips, but when you want to, it does have quite a lot more resistance to the crown, and I have to use my nails to make sure that the crown is properly screwed in, right? So that is again the similar issue that I have with this SN008-G, right? So the crown operation, of course, we have that Saint Martin S logo here, which is also engraved but not as iconic as the Tudor rose here, right? So okay, so at the back we have a bare, no writings whatsoever, so mimicking the old Rolex, right? So nothing to see there. But on the Tudor, right, surprise, we have an etching, a laser etch manufacture, Tudor Geneva caliber manufacture, blah blah. It's the same exact thing, but still they do have an engraving. If you go for a Rolex, you will have nothing back there. And yep, the bracelet, let's talk about the bracelet. The only thing that I don't really like about this Tudor is that you can see that the bracelet end link, the last one, the one that fits to the case, it is a bit, I don't know, man, it doesn't really sit nicely compared to the lug, right? So you can see there's quite a sharp tip here, so it doesn't really, it's not gonna hurt your fingers or wrist, whatever, but still, if you feel it, it is quite sharp. If you contrast that to the ones that you would find on the Saint Martin, yeah, you can see there it is a lot better. There is a bit of sharpness here, but it is a lot better because it doesn't really protrude that much compared to the ones that you would find on a Tudor. So you see that, right? So yeah, this is one area where the Saint Martin does a lot better job. Okay, so the end links. So we go for the links, right? The links here, it's on the Saint Martin, we have a rivet style bracelet. This is actually 5 links. Actually, we have this outer links which is movable. Surprise. And to be completely honest, this bracelet is excellent. So I just love the flexibility of this bracelet, and because I love riveted style bracelet, right? But on the Tudor, right, so this bracelet is, oh my god, this is such a smooth. I of course it features the same exact thing, but it features just one screw here, not here, yeah, on this side. When you want to swap, shorten or add more links, so you just have to fiddle with just one screw on one side. But on the contrary, on the Saint Martin, you have to fiddle around with both screw, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, anyway, so it is what it is. So on the Saint Martin, we have the simple scissor clasp here with a buckle push button here with an engraved Saint Martin logo, and we have 4 micro adjusts here, so which is good. But the party trick on the Tudor is this beautifully done 3 micro adjust clasp here, right? So, and we have this beautifully done to the scissor clasp here to the Geneve steel inox TL, right? So the party trick here, however, is you can see there is those ceramic bearing or ceramic I don't know what to call this, but yeah, that is made from ceramic ball bearing. Here we have 2 on the inside and we have 2 on the outside, so it really helps you when you want to close it in. Yep, you can see there. Let me just do it again. Very nice click. I don't know how to does it, but it feels really great when you are using it. And we have that beautifully designed to the logo here, right? So you can't really complain. Of course this thing works, but of course this thing is another level, right? So of course we have the clasp here looks very thin. If you compare it to the Saint Martin, it's quite thick, to be completely honest. So I just wish maybe Saint Martin could copy or make their own version that looks something similar to this one, but yeah, still. Anyway, so there are costs to be considered there. So what about the loom then, right? You know what, let's just close it out with a loom competition. Of course the Tudor is going to win. Both are very strong in their respective in their own colorway. So you can see it already that this one is a bit more green. Let's shut off the light. Boom, we've got ourselves a little bit of blue hue on the Tudor. I don't think it is a BGW9 though. So if it is a BGW9, it will be a lot more blue, but it is a lot more blue compared to the Saint Martin, which is using a C3 vintage super luminova, right? So let's go for the conclusion, right? So which one do I think is the best watch? There's no question about that, guys. Definitely the Tudor is the best, both the best watch if you compare it to the Saint Martin, right? But this one is no slouch either, right? So for some people mentioned to me that this is a bit expensive at $330. Yeah, I get that. For a brand that has no heritage, they just managed to survive based on they managed to get quite a lot of popularity due to their homages, right? By copying another brand's design. But Saint Martin does it really well. You can't really get any this great build quality if you go with another brand on AliExpress. This Saint Martin is quite hard to beat, and yeah, for me at least, this is the best homage of the Black Bay yet. So if there is another Black Bay homage that is better than this, do let me know in the comment section below. I will check it out, but for now this is the best bet. But if you do have the money, if you have $3,500 US, and if you have a connection with your authorized dealers and you can put your name on the list, and the guy in the AD says, hey man, we've got the Black Bay for you and you've got the money, go for the Tudor. So this one doesn't really scratch the itch, because I thought that I could scratch the itch to get a Tudor Black Bay by buying this one, but when I handle the real thing, this is the best there is yet, for me at least, right? So what do you guys think of the comparison between these two watches, these two great watches in my opinion? If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, double thumbs up please. And if you want to see more future video reviews such as this one, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Stay safe and bye bye.